Right, guys, let's talk about Antoine Semenyo, shall we? The man behind us there. We've said his name so many times, haven't we, Mr. Reedy, in this transfer window. He has arrived in Manchester overnight and he's going to have a medical this morning ahead of a £65 million move. Ash, this is crazy, isn't it? I mean, what you don't often get, and you will know, Hollywood endings, do you, to times at football clubs. Bournemouth fans absolutely respect and adore what he's done for them over the last few years after moving, I mean, playing right the way through League Two, League One and into the Premier League. Obviously, Bristol City came from. What a crazy few hours. Scores that goal, then he's on a plane to Manchester. What's he in store for today?
Well, first off, you know, I'm so pleased for him. I played a year with him at Bristol City and he's a great lad, great boy, really down to earth and humble, good football player. You could see it in him then. You know, we didn't know how high he'd go. I actually thought that someone would be showing more interest at the start of the season because he'd had such a good season last season. But to be fair to him, as I say, he's a good lad. He's got his head down. He's probably done even better in the first half of this season. Now, last night, unbelievable. You couldn't have wrote it any better. Something like out of a film. Now today he's going to go up to Manchester, and you know, medical's a tough day because you just want to get it over the line. You want to make sure you've got nothing pops up on the scans that you didn't know about, or you know, any trouble like that. So it's a long process. It's a bit frustrating, but it's something that the clubs obviously have to do. But as a player, you're just excited to get your shirt number, get in with the boys in the dressing room and get training. So he'll have a long day today, but you know, it's one that, especially after last night, he'll be looking forward to.
I'm just thinking back to your time at Ashton Gate with him. Did you see this level of player in him, Ash?
Yeah, I'll be honest, he was easily had the potential to play in the Premier League. I love the way he's took the Premier League by storm. He just gets after it every game, whoever he's playing against, the top team, the bottom team, whatever. But he had a right and left foot. He could I don't know if he's right or left footed. He can hit it with both. Powerful, pacey, good lad, wanted to learn. Didn't play a lot that season at Bristol City, which was surprising. But you knew there was levels to him, and he's one of the nicest boys that you could have ever met coming along the way. So I'm just so pleased for him, and you can see that when he comes across in his interviews and stuff.
Yeah, and I think Bristol City are in for a bit of a payday as well, which is good for them, isn't it, in the Championship? Let's hear from Andoni Iraola, what he's had to say about his forward and that expected departure from the Vitality to the Etihad.
I'm afraid to say because I don't want to lose him, but I think it's going to be his last moments with us, yes.
And how do you sum up what a servant he's been and how he's conducted himself during this period?
Yes, top professional. I think we are not losing an incredible player. I think one of the best players I've ever coached is like this. Top guy, I'm sure. He will continue his development because he has been improving every single season with us. So I think he's going to continue in the next level also.
OK, for more on this, we can go live to the Etihad Stadium and say good morning to Sani Rajavajula. Sani, it's taken longer than most would have thought to get this over the line. We're not quite there yet, but talk us through how you think this is going to pan out over the next few hours.
Well, good morning, Will, and I'm sure you might have had a big birthday night out down south and woken up the next morning in Manchester, because that's Antoine Semenyo and what he's been through. His birthday yesterday, 26, that incredible finish for Bournemouth, and then he's got himself up to Manchester, and we believe his medical is happening right now. So that is underway. And yeah, it's for him, it's been an amazing journey to this point, and you've got to say what a fantastic way he's conducted himself with Bournemouth as well, playing up until essentially the last minute, scoring that goal, and now able to join Manchester City. It's 60 million plus another 5 million in bonuses, so 65 million overall, which goes back to his release clause, got added into his contract when he signed a new one after there was interest across the Premier League. 10 goals in his last 20 Premier League games. I mean, it's an incredible season for him, an amazing journey since joining Bournemouth from Bristol City. Bow-footed, as Ash was mentioning as well. So formal steps on that transfer are underway. We believe he'll be a City player by the weekend, and therefore City have beaten off interest from Tottenham principally. Manchester United were interested as well, neck and neck for quite a while. Chelsea too, and Liverpool monitoring the situation. But Pep Guardiola looks like he'll be getting his man sooner rather than later in Antoine Semenyo. £65 million, 26 years old, fantastic prospect.
And Sani, given the injury to Semenyo, potentially out for up to 6 weeks, City and Pep need Semenyo in the form that he's been showing at Bournemouth right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Semenyo's last game was on New Year's Day against Sunderland. Pep Guardiola revealing in his press conference after the 1-1 draw with Brighton that he might be out for some time. And that, Semenyo being out gives an option again with Semenyo. But Semenyo, I think, you could argue offers a little bit more. He's both-footed. He can play on either side. He's been so productive. His balance, his strength, his kind of ability to read a situation. He's quite a smart footballer too. And of course, add all to that, he's got a long throw too. So with Semenyo coming out, that definitely gives an option with Semenyo on either flank. And when you think that Jeremy Doku has been in excellent form as well, winning that penalty that was converted by Erling Haaland, it does mean that where are you thinking where could Semenyo fit in? There are a couple of places where he could go. So if you're a City fan, really exciting. If you're a Bournemouth fan, it kind of circles this all off, and you've left with a player that you've loved on a high at Dean Court. Everyone's gone mad there. And for Semenyo, some time on the treatment table, and he'll have to fight pretty hard to regain his place, I imagine, when Semenyo comes through the door here at Man City.
Sandy, thank you very much. Ash, this is a timely boost, isn't it, for Pep Guardiola, the signing of someone who's in red-hot form? Yeah,
and no disrespect, but forget Semenyo. He goes straight into the team anyway above him, even if he's fit for me. I think if you got Doku on the left and you put Semenyo on the right and you get him firing, if he takes that form straight in, that is an unbelievable weapon, attacking weapon for Pep to use. And I feel like the type of personality that Antoine Semenyo is, he will just latch onto everything that Guardiola's saying. He'll be a sponge. It's not going to affect his game too much. I think that it will mesh. I think that will mesh really well, that relationship. And I think he'll just get going straight away. And then it does give Manchester City a little bit more. Like last night, you could see there was lacking in creativity a little bit. I know they created a bit, but just that killer instinct that Antoine has, they need that.
Chris, Sani was talking about the injury to Semenyo, that the injuries are becoming contagious, aren't they, at the moment at the Etihad? Not good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, defensively, obviously, we know that they're struggling with Diaz and Gvardiol out. But I think, as Ash mentioned, with Semenyo, I think he's just going to bring a new dynamic to City. And so Pep's talked a lot about energy, and that's what he wants to bring to this City side. He wants to bring energy, and we know Semenyo, he's a runner. He'll run all day for you, up and down. Defensively as well, I think he'll really fit in. And his numbers as well have just been... every single year they've improved, and I think he's third in terms of goal involvements in the Premier League this season. That's something that I'm sure Pep would have looked at as well. And I don't know, Ash, as a defender, when you're lining up against Haaland, Doku and Semenyo, that's a tough afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just hoping for the best. If that's the way they go with that front three, as a defender, you're hoping for the best. You're just trying to keep cool, all the unit on, and everyone's on red alert for the whole game, because what you're saying, Chris, he brings just dynamic pace, attacking. There's no kind of, they just get it to him and he just goes straight away, and he'll either serve Haaland or he'll score himself.
And look, they need some of those goals. He's got 10, as Sani mentioned, in the Premier League already. And Pep saying after the draw against Brighton last night, that's where we're lacking. I mean, obviously, Haaland's doing the job, but they're not being shared around the team. Here's one for you, and this is just sort of relaying what the cynics might say in terms of what happened with Jack Grealish. Is there any chance that Pep tries to change the way Semenyo is as a player?
Yeah, that's the risk. I think that's the risk for any player in Antoine's position, where he's got a choice of clubs. Do I go to a club like Manchester City? Me personally, I'd be trying to get under Pep Guardiola's coaching. I want to be in that. I want to know what he's got to tell me. But we have seen situations where maybe he's out-coached what he's brought in. If the talent that he's brought in, then he's coached it out of them.
I guess he didn't do it with Doku, but Grealish might say something else.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like he lets Doku go, but then we're saying Grealish maybe he's coached it out of him. But I think Antoine's the type of player that's what I'm saying. He will just listen. He doesn't want to do his own thing. He'll do what the manager says, because he's such a humble boy. He's not coming in saying I'm the man. He'll be like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to track back? Do you want me to play inside? Do you want me to play outside? Where do you want me? And I'll go and do it.
Do you think the difference, Ash, between sort of Grealish and Semenyo is that Grealish is more of like on-the-ball sort of player, not as many sort of runs in behind, whereas Semenyo, that's his game. He'd love to run in behind. He won't mind staying out wide, whereas Grealish, I think it kind of curtailed him when Pep was having him on the wide. Do you think that might be a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So Grealish has the ball at his feet a lot, and then he has to play within the system once the ball's at his feet. I think one of the things with Manchester City over the last few years is you can play a high line against them, because there's no one really that goes in behind. He will go in behind. So if somebody gets it out of their feet, he's going to make those diagonal cutting runs all day. And then now you've got two. You can either hit it in behind or you can play it to feet. And as a defender, Well, what do? Do you drop or do you stay? So he gives them a different look to the attack.
It's like we've rewound to the Bayern Munich days of Robin and Ribéry with Pep Guardiola. The wingers are back in his favour, that is for sure. How did Bournemouth, Chris, replace someone like Semenyo? I know that the name Jamie Leveling has been punted around at Stuttgart. They must have someone in mind, knowing that this clause was in there and going to expire in early Jan.
Yeah, look, clubs like Bournemouth, clubs like Brentford, they forward plan. So they're really good at sort of dealing with this. And they've had this clause in for a while. So they knew this was coming. This isn't a surprise to them. So you mentioned Jeremy Luling there. We spoke to Florian Plettenberg the other day. I don't think that's going to quite happen yet. A name that's been bandied around in the papers this morning has been Ethan Nwaneri from Arsenal, potentially on loan.
Wow.
Different profile of player. I'd say he's again a bit more like Grealish, likes the ball at feet rather than running in behind. But look, I think Bournemouth are going to have to replace Semenyo, and this model that they're doing and kind of making profit on players, allowing them to go, it's just how sustainable that is, because you can keep doing it, but you see examples like Southampton where after a while, I don't know what you think, Ash, but yeah, it's good for a while, but then when will it kind of really alter them and really affect them?
Yeah, it must be frustrating for the fans. I feel for the fan base, because they've got look at all the players they lost in the summer. But as a player, you can't blame the player, and you can't really blame the football club. You're getting big money for it's an investment, so they bring players in their investments, they sell them. Okay, fair enough. But like you say, can they keep going finding these gems everywhere and then selling them on? I'm not sure if they can keep doing it.
Just very, very quickly on that, Ethan Nwaneri, the name that Chris just mentioned. They'd love that, the fans, but I mean, he's not getting the minutes that he'd like at Arsenal, because they've got such a big squad now. But that would work at the vitality, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no. When you said that, I thought that'd be great for all parties. I'd love to see him getting more minutes on the weekend. So that I do think that would work out if they went that route.